chosen one. You woke them up to the fact they are the biggest loser in their own mess, and karma wasted no time. You closed the chapter cleanly and walked away, and that exit flipped the board. The ones who called you gullible now stare at the consequences they authored. You didn't argue, you moved. Peace is yours. There's someone in their circle who thought they would remain ignorant to the truth forever. Someone who felt like they could maintain this spell indefinitely. Someone who believed that no matter how much they revealed their true nature, this person would just keep trusting them like a child trusts a parent. And that's exactly what happened. They trusted with the innocence of a child, believing everything. But here's where it gets interesting. They were never actually ignorant. They chose to be blind. They paid attention to the wrong things. They analyzed everything except what mattered. And now they're about to discover the cost of those choices. Because while they were calling you gullible, they were operating with a mindset that was completely damaged. A mindset that wasn't even their own. A mindset that people projected onto them. People whose opinions they respected more than their own intuition. They're discovering that the whole time, while they thought they were so smart, while they acted like they knew everything, they were actually being set up. The person they trusted most was giving them false instruction. The person they ran to for advice was giving them guidance designed to destroy them. The person who seemed like their protector was actually their predator, and they never saw it coming because they were too busy thinking you were the problem. Right now, something is forcing them to see the truth. It's urgent. It's a life or death situation for some of you watching this, not metaphorically, literally. There's a desperate situation unfolding where they need to free themselves from associations that are dangerous, from a circle that's toxic, from people who have been using them for power and resources while slowly destroying them from the inside out. The audacity of them thinking you were gullible while they're in a situation so desperate they don't even fully understand it yet. The audacity of them acting like you didn't know what you were talking about while they're about to be brought to their knees by consequences they could have avoided if they just listened to you. The audacity of them judging your intelligence while their own mind operates on someone else's agenda. They're about to fold harder than they've ever folded before. They're about to be under pressure so intense it's going to reveal every weakness, every flaw, every crack in their judgment. And when they fall, they're going to realize that you saw this coming. You warned them, you tried to tell them, but they chose the voice of the destroyer over the voice of the truth teller, and that choice is about to cost them everything they thought they had. That mentor, that trusted voice, that person who was feeding them all this poison about you became obsessed with you, not in a healthy way, in a psychotic stalker, completely unhinged way. And they handed over everything needed to feed that obsession without realizing what they were doing. Every time they talked about you to this person, they were giving a psychopath ammunition. Every detail about your life, every piece of your business, every move you made, this person collected it all. Why? Because they're crazy, because they're obsessed, because you represent something they can never be: free, authentic, uncontrollable, strong, and that drives certain people absolutely insane. Look at how this person was moving, looking through windows, watching, stalking, obsessed with getting information about you, and your person was the pipeline. They were so naive, so trusting of this psycho energy, that they didn't even realize they were helping someone stalk you. They thought they were just confiding in a friend. They thought they were getting guidance, but really, they were feeding a monster's appetite for information about someone they couldn't control. And here's the sickest part. This psycho didn't keep their obsession private. They talked about you to other people. They spread your business. They created narratives. They built stories, all while pretending to be your person's ally, all while acting like they were helping, all while positioning themselves as the voice of reason when really they were the voice of chaos. Your person is about to discover this. They're going to find out that the person they trusted most became obsessed with you in disturbing ways. They're going to see evidence of conversations where this person was fixated on you. They're going to uncover proof that their mentor wasn't mentoring them at all. This person was using them to get closer to understanding you, studying you, trying to figure out how to either destroy you or become you, and the obsession went deep. This person started comparing themselves to you. They started trying to figure out what you had that they didn't have. They started analyzing what made you special, what made you different, what made you someone they couldn't control or manipulate or break. And that analysis turned into envy. That envy turned into jealousy. That jealousy turned into an obsession so strong that it consumed their thoughts, their energy, their focus. You became the thing they thought about constantly. Not because they knew you personally, not because you did anything to them, but because your person kept bringing you up, kept talking about you, kept making you central to their conversations. And this psycho latched onto that. They started asking more questions, digging deeper, wanting more information, and your person, thinking they were just processing relationship issues, gave it all freely. This psycho started imitating you. They started copying your style, your energy, your way of being. They started trying to replace you in your person's life by becoming a version of you, but a twisted version, a manipulated version, a controlled version. They couldn't be you, so they tried to become what they thought you were, while also trying to destroy the real you in your person's mind. The shame they're feeling right now is overwhelming, not just shame about being manipulated, but shame about putting you in danger without even knowing it. Shame about giving a psycho access to your information. Shame about being so blind that they couldn't see what was happening right in front of them. That shame is mixing with fury and creating a toxic combination that's eating them alive from the inside out. While they were helping this psycho gather information about you, you were already gone. You already removed yourself from the situation. You already walked away. So all that obsession, all that stalking, all that information gathering led to nothing. Because you can't control someone who's already free. You can't manipulate someone who's already out of reach. You can't destroy someone who's already protected by their own boundaries. If this message speaks to your soul, hype this video so other chosen ones can discover it. What's happening to them right now isn't just uncomfortable, it's a life or death issue, and you need to understand that some of this is literal, not metaphorical. They're in a desperate situation that they desperately need to wake up to, but the problem is they took too long. They ignored too many warnings, they trusted the wrong people for too long, and now it's too late to walk away clean. They're discovering that their associations, their circles, the people they kept around, these connections are dangerous, not just toxic, dangerous. There's something about getting and using power through other people's resources that has them trapped. Maybe they accepted money they shouldn't have accepted. Maybe they got involved in something shady. Maybe they co-signed on something that's coming back to haunt them. Whatever it is, they're stuck in a web they can't easily escape. The warnings were there, heavy losses already happened, red flags were waving everywhere, but they refused to see what was really going on. Why? Because they thought they were so smart, because you can't tell them nothing, because their arrogance was too strong to consider that maybe they didn't have everything figured out. And now that arrogance is about to cost them in ways they never imagined. God is about to make them see what they refuse to see, not gently, not with soft whispers, but with a situation so urgent, so desperate, so life-threatening that they won't have a choice about waking up. It's almost like the universe is saying, leave everything where it's at and just get out with the body God gave you. That's how serious this is about to get for some of them. And chosen one, this is where you need to recognize something powerful. While they're in this desperate situation, you're in freedom. While they're trapped by associations they should have left a long time ago, you already left yours. While they're facing consequences they could have avoided, you avoided yours by using your discernment. You're not in this mess because you made different choices. You chose yourself. You chose to walk away. You chose to listen to your intuition. They're about to pray like they've never prayed before. They're going to be brought to their knees because the situation is that bad. And when they're down there praying, asking God to save them from this mess, they're going to remember that you tried to tell them, you tried to warn them. You tried to show them the danger they were walking into, but they called you dramatic, they called you jealous, they called you controlling, and now they're desperate for divine intervention. The cost of their beliefs is coming due, and the currency is everything they thought they had. The cost of their beliefs, the cost of their mindset, the cost of trusting the wrong people is about to be paid in full. And the payment comes in the form of multiple betrayals happening all at once, not one betrayal, not two. We're talking about 6 different knives going into their back simultaneously, and each one was placed there by someone they trusted. The betrayals are stacking. First betrayal, they're finding out this person was lying about them to others. Second betrayal, they're discovering this person was actively sabotaging opportunities that were meant for them. Third betrayal, they're learning that intimate details they shared in confidence got spread around like gossip. Fourth betrayal, they're realizing this person was turning other people against them. Fifth betrayal, they're uncovering evidence that this person was using them for money or resources or access. Sixth betrayal, they're discovering that the whole time this person was pretending to care, they were actually celebrating every moment of pain. And all of these betrayals are hitting at once, not spread out over time where they could process one and then move to the next. No, all at once. Like arrows hitting their back in rapid succession. That's the visual representation of what's happening to them right now. They're getting hit from every direction by people they thought they could trust. While they're discovering all these betrayals, they're also remembering how they betrayed you. They're realizing that the same energy they're experiencing now, you experienced from them. The same pain they're feeling now, they caused you to feel. The same shock of discovering someone wasn't who you thought they were. That's what they put you through. The karma is mirroring their own actions back at them with precision, and it gets darker. They're finding out about bank failures, financial losses that don't make sense, workplace affairs that are about to explode, reckless situations they got involved in that are coming to light, secrets that are about to be exposed. Every area of their life that they thought was private is about to become public. Every skeleton in their closet is about to walk out and introduce itself. The person who was doing all of this to them thought they were asking questions that mattered. They thought they were getting real answers. But really, they were just doing too much at once, moving too sloppy, asking the wrong questions entirely. They should have been asking questions about the people they were trusting, but instead they were questioning your loyalty. They were investigating you when they should have been investigating the person feeding them lies about you. And now they're caught up. Now they're seeing evidence they weren't supposed to see. Now they're discovering things that make them realize they never knew anything at all. And the stress is overwhelming them. The realization that they were played, that they were set up, that they were betrayed from multiple angles by multiple people, it's breaking them. And there's more coming, because these betrayals are just the beginning. Each betrayal is revealing something new about how foolish they were. The first knife shows them they trusted the wrong mouth. The second knife shows them they bet on the wrong horse. The third knife shows them they confided in their enemy. The fourth knife shows them they defended a demon. The fifth knife shows them they sacrificed the real for the fake. The sixth knife shows them they're the biggest loser in this entire mess because they had the truth right in front of them and chose the lie. That sixth knife is the one that hurts the most because they're realizing that you were right there. You were the truth standing in front of them. You were the real one trying to guide them. You were the authentic voice trying to warn them. And they chose to listen to everyone except you. They chose to trust everyone except the one person who actually deserved their trust. That's what makes them the biggest loser. Not that they lost, but that they lost while holding the winning hand and being too stupid to play it. Now we get to the person at the center of all this chaos, the one pulling the strings, the one orchestrating the destruction. And here's what's going to blow their mind. This person is a shapeshifter, someone with so many faces, so many masks, so many different personas that they don't even know who this person really is. And the scariest part is, this could be someone they've known their whole life. This might be their own parent, or someone they see as a parental figure, or the head person in charge of their circle. the top of the food chain. Someone who acts like they stay quiet and mind their business, like a monk or nun claiming to be holy and righteous. But behind closed doors, this person spreads negative judgment, manipulates situations, plays mind games, and destroys people's lives while pretending to be innocent. This shapeshifter has about 5 different faces, 5 different colors showing on their character. One minute they're the caring mentor, next minute they're the victim who needs protection, next minute they're the judge passing down harsh criticism, next minute they're the holy person claiming spiritual authority, next minute they're showing their true demonic nature, and your person trusted every single face without realizing they were all masks. This person violated the trust of their spiritual community. They abused their position. They misused whatever authority they had, whether it's business authority, legal authority, spiritual authority, or just the authority that comes from being respected in a circle. They abused it all. They used their position to offer destructive criticism instead of constructive guidance. They used their power to manipulate instead of uplift. They used their influence to destroy instead of build. And your person served them, literally served them. They took orders, they followed instructions, they believed every word, they defended them to others, they made excuses for them, all while this shapeshifter was laughing behind their back and setting them up for a fall so devastating they might not recover from it. And the revelation that's about to shatter them completely is this shapeshifter has been talking major trash about them, destroying their reputation while smiling in their face, calling them names behind their back, labeling them as broken and messed up to anyone who would listen, exposing their secrets and vulnerabilities to create a narrative that makes them look unstable and untrustworthy. This person has many faces, and your person is about to see all of them. The fraud is being exposed. The misrepresentation is being revealed. The folly of trusting this person is becoming crystal clear, and nothing can stop this truth from coming out. The shapeshifter's time is up. The masks are falling off, and what's underneath is so ugly, so twisted, so evil that your person is going to be traumatized by the reveal. They're about to go around trying to expose this shapeshifter. They're going to show people the evidence. They're going to explain what this person did to them. They're going to prove with screenshots and messages and receipts that they were manipulated, that lies were told, that they were set up, and that destruction was the goal. And you know what's going to happen? Nobody is going to care. Not because the evidence isn't real, not because what happened to them wasn't wrong, but because everyone's allegiance to this destructive ruler was already secured. These people had their loyalty pledged to the shapeshifter long before your person figured out what was happening. The whole circle, the whole community, the whole group had already picked their side, and it wasn't your person's side. They're going to feel like they're screaming into a void. They're going to show someone proof that this person destroyed their reputation, and the response will be uninterested at best. They're going to explain how they were bamboozled, how they were sweet-talked into sabotage, how this person created drama and heartbreak in their life on purpose. And people are going to look at them like so. What? Their desire for people to care is being rejected. Flat out rejected. They want sympathy. They want validation. They want someone to be angry on their behalf. They want the community to see this shapeshifter for who they really are. But what they're getting instead is cold shoulders, changed subjects, and subtle suggestions that maybe they're overreacting or being dramatic or not seeing the full picture. Look, you already know the attacks weren't random. And if you're paying attention, you can feel it. Their walls are closing in. So let's talk about what we're doing about it. That's why I built Destiny Engine. It generates personalized sequences that help you rewire betrayal into transcendence, turn isolation into sacred power, and transform their downfall into your rise. We are using the Dark Elite's own weapons against them, taking their declassified consciousness technology that programmed competition and scarcity and repurposing it to serve cooperative intelligence. The beauty is you don't even have to lift a finger. You put on the headphones, press play, and your subconscious is rewired while your enemies collapse under the weight of their own lies. This is why I created it in the beginning, so everything they did to break you becomes fuel for your purpose. The collective upgrade is underway. Start your destiny engine for $1 today and watch divine justice accelerate in your life. Link in the description. They weren't just bystanders, they were participants. Some of them actively helped the shapeshifter destroy your person's reputation. Some of them stood by and said nothing when they could have warned them. Some of them enjoyed watching the manipulation happen. And all of them have a vested interest in keeping the shapeshifter in power because they benefit from the current structure. This is a situation where someone misused power and knowledge to control a whole group of people, and everyone in that group has allegiance to this destructive force because they're getting something out of it. Resources, position, protection, a sense of belonging. Whatever it is, they value it more than they value truth or justice or your person's well-being. So when your person shows up with evidence, these people aren't interested in seeing it. They're not going to examine it. They're not going to validate it. Because acknowledging that the shapeshifter is evil would mean acknowledging that they were complicit in that evil. It would mean admitting they stood by while someone was destroyed. It would mean taking responsibility for their own part in the betrayal. And they're not willing to do that. So instead they reject your person's truth. They dismiss the evidence. They make excuses for the shapeshifter. They gaslight your person into thinking maybe they're reading too much into things. They protect the destroyer because protecting the destroyer protects themselves from having to face what they allowed to happen. Your person is discovering they're completely alone in this fight. There's not one person who's going to stand with them against this shapeshifter, not one person who's going to validate their pain, not one person who's going to hold this destructive ruler accountable. The whole system is corrupted, and they're the only one who can see it clearly now. But seeing it clearly doesn't matter when you're surrounded by people who choose to stay blind. While they were defending the shapeshifter to others, while they were singing this person's praises, while they were telling people how real and credible and trustworthy this mentor was, that same person was talking major trash about them behind their back. And I'm not talking about minor complaints. I'm talking about character assassination, reputation destruction, malicious slander. This person was calling them names, labeling them as broken, telling people they're messed up, describing them as unstable and unreliable, exposing their private struggles and vulnerabilities to anyone who would listen, taking their secrets and turning them into gossip, taking their confessions and turning them into comedy, taking their trust and turning it into a weapon against them. And everybody knew that's the part that's destroying them right now. Every single person in their circle already heard all of this trash talk. Everyone already formed opinions about them based on lies this shapeshifter told. Everyone already decided they were problematic before your person even knew there was a campaign against them. The whole community was in on it. The whole circle was laughing about it. They were the joke and they didn't even know it. Now they're finding evidence of the conversations, messages where people were mocking them, group chats where they were the topic of ridicule, screenshots of this shapeshifter describing them in the most degrading ways, proof that their name was being dragged through the mud for extended time while they walked around thinking everything was fine. They were defending this person during all of that. While this shapeshifter was destroying their reputation, they were building this person up. While this person was calling them broken, they were calling this person wise. While this person was exposing their secrets, they were trusting them with even more secrets. The stupidity of it is almost too much to bear. They're discovering that this person had evil intentions from the start. This wasn't a friendship that went bad. This wasn't a mentorship that crossed a line. This was a predator identifying prey and systematically destroying them while making them think they were being helped. The fraud ran deep. The misrepresentation was total. This person never cared about them. Not once. Not ever. And now they want to expose it. Now they want to tell everyone the truth about this shapeshifter. But remember what we just talked about. Nobody wants to hear it, because everyone was already part of it. Everyone already knew this person was talking trash. Everyone already participated in the mockery. So when your person shows up trying to expose the shapeshifter's trash talk, people look at them like we already knew that, and the humiliation is complete. They can't even get the satisfaction of exposing someone because everyone already knows who that person is. They just didn't care enough to warn your person about it. They just let them walk into the trap. They just watched them be destroyed for entertainment. And now that your person finally sees it, nobody's interested in discussing it. They're discovering there's a copycat involved in this whole mess. Someone who was trying to imitate you. Someone who was pretending to be you, or trying to steal your identity, or your style, or your essence. And this copycat is connected to the shapeshifter. They're finding fingerprints, digital footprints, evidence of someone trying to be you while destroying them. And the copycat is about to face their own karma. Legal troubles are showing up. Getting caught in a trap they can't escape is coming. This person thought they could play games forever, but their time is up. They're about to lose in a major way. And when they fall, your person is going to understand just how deep the deception went. They're discovering this copycat was promiscuous with other people. Maybe this was someone they were romantically involved with who was sleeping around. Maybe this was someone in their circle who was playing multiple people at once. Maybe this was someone they trusted who was being intimate with their enemies. Whatever it is, the betrayal has layers. They're finding out this person has low intelligence but high manipulation. A negotiator who's been trying to make deals behind their backs. A beggar who's been asking for things they don't deserve. Someone who's sad and broken and alone now because their game's caught up with them. And your person is supposed to feel bad for them. Not a chance. While they're discovering all of this evidence about copycats and fraud, they're also discovering that you tried to tell them about some of this. Maybe not in exact details, but you sensed something was off. You felt something wasn't right. You tried to warn them that people around them had bad intentions, and they dismissed you. They called you paranoid. They accused you of being jealous, and now they're looking at proof that you were seeing clearly the whole time. They're experiencing anger that can't be managed. Fury that's completely out of control, rage that's consuming everything in its path, and it's all directed in multiple directions at once. They hate the people who betrayed them. They're salty about what happened. They're big mad about the games that were played. They're furious that they were made to look like a fool. The anger is so intense that it's showing up as physical symptoms. They can't breathe properly. They can't think straight. They can't control their reactions. This is someone who's about to explode. They see it all now. They're finally seeing the full picture, and what they see is making them want to go around moving fast, speaking their truth to anyone who will listen. They're desperate to tell people what happened, desperate to expose the fraud, desperate to make sure everyone knows they weren't crazy, they were being gaslit. But here's the problem. Nobody cares. Remember, everyone's allegiance is to the shapeshifter. So they're riding around, speaking their truth, showing their evidence and getting nowhere. The frustration is building, the anger is compounding, the rage is multiplying, because not only were they betrayed, but now they can't even get validation for being betrayed. And in the middle of all this fury, they're thinking about you. They're remembering what they had. They're recognizing what they lost. They're understanding that you were the real one and everyone else was fake. They're seeing clearly for the first time that you were trying to protect them, and they rejected that protection. And that realization is adding grief to the fury. So now they want to come back. Now they want to reach out. Now they want to explain what happened. Now they want your support, your understanding, your forgiveness. They want to tell you about all the betrayals. They want to process their pain with you. They want you to validate that they were manipulated and it wasn't their fault. They want you to be their safe space while they work through this nightmare. But chosen one, you need to understand something. This isn't about you. This is about them being in crisis and you being the only person they can think of who might actually care. They're not coming back because they've grown. They're coming back because everyone else rejected them. They're not reaching out because they finally see your value. They're reaching out because you're all they have left. The energy that's about to come your way is someone in their feelings, someone who's emotional, unstable, volatile, someone who's reverting back to old patterns because the new patterns just destroyed them. Someone who wants reconciliation but hasn't done the work to be worthy of it. Someone who's lovesick but not love-ready. They're going to tell you they see things clearly now. They're going to promise they understand what you were trying to tell them. They're going to swear they'll never doubt you.